Hello, everybody, and welcome to our program. The name of our program today is called What is Life-Changing About Attending the Your Sacred Ambition live event? Our host, Rebecca Skeele, will be bringing us the stories of these three inspiring women who are saying hell yes to themselves and their great work. My name is Selena Poole, and I'm going to be the MC for today's panel conversations. My business, Conscious Collaboration, partners with leaders like Rebecca and these other fine women who are taking us into the new paradigm of work led by spirit. And I produce virtual events and creative communications that evoke the heart and soul. Now I'm going to introduce Rebecca, who is our host, and she is a heaven on earth mentor and wisdom teacher. Her sacred calling is to co-create heaven on earth, and her sacred ambition is teaching the inner tools to live a divinely guided and deeply fulfilling life. Today, we're going to learn more about the annual in-person event Rebecca hosts in New Mexico that focuses on an important aspect of her work, which is to support, teach, and mentor those who are called to express their great work in the world, what she calls your sacred ambition, and to demonstrate your ability to serve yourself, those who are looking for you, and the greater good with who you are. And now I'll turn it over to Rebecca.
Oh, thank you, Selena. What a beautiful introduction. And I have to say that what Selena does is her business is so supportive and really integral to the changing face of conscious business at this time. So glad you're here with us.
Thank you.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome if you are attending right now as we record this call, and welcome to you if you are joining on the recording sometime in the next couple of months and watching this recording. For the next 60 minutes, I am going to introduce you to three very wonderful women who have signed up for this year's Your Sacred Ambition event. And you're going to hear from them, their unique perspective, and a bit about why they are coming to this event, a couple of them for the second time. And they're already excited about, and I know I am too, about this upcoming event in August. And I'm going to give you the dates right now. It's August 4th, 5th, and 6th. And the name of the event is Your Sacred Ambition, Lead from Your Divine Power so you can do well while doing good. But before I introduce them, I want to talk a little bit more about the event. This is an opportunity for you to learn more about what this event is really about. There's lots of live events out there. And they are for lots of different reasons. And this one is actually very unique. There's not another event like this out there. This event that takes place in August every year is really an opportunity for what I call the tribe to gather. 3 years ago, when I was in the midst of bringing my bigger work out into the world, even though I'd been in doing my work for many, many years, I was stepping out in a bigger way. And I was coming from a place of a sacred calling inside. And I realized that I wanted to know who else was doing that. I didn't want to be all by myself. I wanted to say, hey, let's see who else is doing this out there. So, I put the word out that I was doing an event, and quite honestly, I didn't know if anyone would show up, but they did. And then after that year, I thought, well, there is a groundswell of those of us who know that we have this sacred calling inside, and we want to bring it out in a bigger way. And we want to get together and experience the magic that happens when people come from all over the world, and people will be coming from Europe to this event, to come together, to celebrate, to support, and to go on a journey, because that's what we do in our 3 days together. The event is 3 days long, and from the beginning to the end, you are on a journey, and I consider it a sacred journey. And that journey is for you to discover more of who you are. And in that journey, what you will do is, first of all, you will rediscover parts of you that you have discarded along the way. And you will let go of parts of you that no longer serve you. And you will begin to see yourself, your life, and your work with new eyes. And in the midst of that, you will have the opportunity to really listen and explore what the sacred calling is for you, and maybe articulate it for the first time, or maybe you already know it, but you will bring it forward in a bigger way. You'll have more power and more sacred ambition to do that. Now, this event is experiential in nature. It's not a sit back, take notes, listen to speakers, that was a great speaker, isn't that nice? No, this is an experiential process. And yet at the end of this event, it's also not about putting you on some kind of high, which it's pretty high energy at the end of this event. And then that's it, bye. No, it is also about continuing the work of you birthing maybe a sacred ambition business or social initiative out into the world, or maybe up-leveling a business you already have. Because after the event, you have so much more experience and embodiment around the true power of who you are, what I call the divine power, and also really knowing how to align your ambition in service to that sacredness inside of you. So there's lots of opportunity in this event to expand, to get clear, to connect with others, to feel support, to be celebrated. And again, the event is August 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a beautiful resort called the Tamiya Hyatt, which happens to be on Native American land. So the land itself, it really lends itself to what we will be doing together. And there is a link to the webpage. And Selena, are we going to be able to show that? Okay.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Oh, wonderful. So this link to the page, in case you're watching this video and want to go to the page right now and read more about it, please feel free, because there's lots more information on that page. And also, if you know you're called to be there, go ahead and register. Okay, enough about the event. Let's get to our three beautiful guests. First of all, I want to say that I handpicked each one of them because of their story, their enthusiasm, and their joy about their own personal process in what they are bringing forward into the world. So I'm going to turn it back over to Selena, and Selena will introduce our first guest.
Yeah, I am so tickled to introduce my friend and beloved colleague, Bobby Middendorf. Bobby is often called the poet laureate of purpose, mentors, conscious leaders, change makers, and messengers who want practical ways to shine their light in words, live out their deepest purpose, and shape the gifts of their great work. Knowing that outer change is an inside job, her sacred calling awakens old souls into co-creation to regenerate Earth and humanity in sacred partnership, bringing love into form.
Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you.
What a beautiful introduction. Just really lovely. Really captures who you are. I think I can read my notes here without my glasses, so I'll take them off.
Yeah.
Well, this time last year, well, a little later than this time last year, you and your husband, John, boarded a train from Chicago and came to the event in Albuquerque. And you also did something very creative. I thought it was just really very creative. You did a writing retreat while you were on the train. And then you came to this retreat, you and your husband together, and wow, all kinds of insights and shifting and opening and expansion happened. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened for you and John at the event last year?
The shifts were profound. We got on a train in Chicago. I piloted a little creativity workshop and invited him to join me in experiencing how I help people transform. And then we stepped into how you support people in transforming and opening up. And when we got back on the train to return, after we postponed our departure a couple days, we were in the process of making an offer on a house in New Mexico. And this was after living in one house in Chicago for, at that point, 28 years. By the middle of November, what was in the Chicago house was packed up. It was on pods. It was on the way to New Mexico. And so were we. So I like to say, just be ready for anything if you're going to step into Rebecca's circle and the sacred ambition community and tribe of change makers, because we had absolutely no preconceived notions that we were going to be moving when we came down. Mm-hmm. But there were expansions from within the event that were right timed with things that were going on in our life. So, if you've got a few things kind of out of the way, look out.
I love that last comment, because there is a lot of letting go at the event, isn't there? Just really getting clear of what, this does not serve me anymore. And that's so important when you're wanting to bring forward, a call, yeah, and then bring something into form, like a business or whatever. And for you guys, the way that it showed up was the call, first of all, was like, hey, we need to do we need to live in a whole different place. And I know that must, that's a huge shift. That's a huge change to leave a house that you raised your children in and you lived for many, many years. And I'm sure you probably downsized in the middle of that, and then moved to a place that, a whole new state and what has sustained you, do you think, this year? Because you're coming back this coming year to this event. So what has sustained you, Bobby and John, for you and John?
Well, I'd like to just highlight that the painting that is behind me is the view out our window, and it is a piece of artwork that my husband did since he has moved here. Beautiful. So he has started doing more of his art, working on his novel. Those were things that came out for his sacred ambition. And we have leaned into the change. We've leaned on each other. The tools from sacred ambition, the inner, the inner work that we did there was something that was very generative, and was a huge. It's what I call an invisible infrastructure. It's an energetic inner shift, and leaning into something like that made all the difference. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love seeing his work. This is the first time I've seen it. This is really wonderful. And then for you have continued to listen, very deeply inside to what is really calling you. And I happen to know that, all kinds of new ahas are starting to weave themselves and connect the dots inside of you. Yeah. So I love you talking about this, because just because you come to this event doesn't mean it stops, on Saturday evening. The energy of it, the inner process of it really continues over the years. So you and John are coming back in
We are.
August. And so what do you think is your expectation? Do you have any, do you have a sense of what might take place this year?
So one of the impetuses of our moving was John's experience of seeing both of us in a community. And it was like he got it in just a deeper way oh, your tribe is here.
Mm-hmm.
These are your people. So that reconnecting with the tribe that you mentioned at the beginning, Rebecca, is like I'm getting chills. It like opens my heart to be able to hang out and connect with and, build relationships with like-hearted people. It just is huge. And for me, getting some additional clarity on next steps for making what I'm doing a sacred ambition business, I think it's going to be really crucial. Because that's kind of where I've stumbled a little bit in the last year. Before the event, there was something in the back of my mind. It's like I'd like some more spaciousness, but I had absolutely no vision, no idea what that was in its particulars. And then suddenly this vista of New Mexico opened, and we're right next to the National Forest. I mean,
yes.
Talk about spaciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So it was there's a lot of, continuing the next steps, moving from the inner to the outer.
Yes.
I think those are really important. And the tribe is just like, that makes my heart sing.
Yes. Yes. We're so glad you're part of that tribe. I want to say, I want to address the tribe just in case people think that, oh, it's just in New Mexico. No, we have one of our tribe members in Prague, and she's actually coming back this year. We have another tribe member in Ireland. We have some in London. Maybe, I think I heard we might even have some in Scotland this year, Canada, as well as all over the United States. So I want to say that even though New Mexico, we do have a lot of our tribe here, we also have, our extended family tribe, and they stay in touch. And I'm happy to say several of them are coming back this year. Well, Bobby, I am just so pleased that you and John are here. I'm so pleased at what is emerging for you, because Sacred Callings to Sacred Ambition is an emergent process. And I'm looking forward to really seeing what comes forward around taking that sacred ambition into form more this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Well, Bobby, thank you so much. And I'm so delighted you're here. And I've seen you grow and evolve so much in the last couple of years. And I just thrilled with you and for you. And next, we are going to meet my new friend, Jane Hemphill, who is an extraordinary woman that I'm really excited we get to learn more about today. So, Jane and Rebecca.
All right. Jane, I think you're on mute. So can you unmute yourself for Selena? There you go. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
I see that beautiful piano in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So Jane is she's new to this tribe. In fact, she is the one on the call who's not been to your Sacred Ambition yet. And I'm sure she's just listening with both ears to everything that is going on this call. But she has already been around the tribe. She took a day-long workshop with us back in February. She's been in a class with us, a couple of classes. So Jane, what is attracting you to jump into this tribe, this energy, with both feet?
Well, the one day experience that the Play Big in 2016, every single thing I heard at that event resonated with me. As I said, there was so much positive energy, in the room. You just couldn't help but, get excited about everything you've been doing. I've always wanted to be a writer, but I've always kind of kept it on the back burner. I didn't know how or whether I could. And like I said, after that one day, I felt it more than a possibility that I'm really going to go for this. So after a one-day event, I kept thinking, what could 3 days do? So I'm so excited, so excited to get around that energy again. And it's a wonderful tribe. I felt safe, supported, And I even went outside my comfort zone, which I don't do very often, like the first day. So, yeah.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You know, Jane, you're speaking to one of the stories that I hear a lot, and I know happens with sacred callings and sacred ambitions. Your dream to be a writer, your vision to be a writer, and how you put it on the back burner. And of course, for good reason, you've been raising a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Six kids. Yeah.
6 kids.
Six
Yeah.
kids, yeah.
You've had your hands full. And a lot of times that's what happens to sacred callings is we do put them on the back burner because of life circumstances. And yet there comes a time in our life when we can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's lined up with perfect timing, like children are graduating.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And yet sometimes, though, it's like, well, I got to do this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason that I do the event for those of us who are tired of putting it on the back burner. And there is a way to really weave it in and start, you know, working it, massaging it, and bringing forth, finding all the threads of it into our life, even though we still might have a lot of responsibilities going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really so happy, Jane, that you have caught the energy so soon.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, buckle up, because 3 days is very different than 1 day.
Uh-huh.
Do you know your sacred calling or sacred ambition? It's not necessary to know it, but do you have an inkling of what it might be?
I have an inkling. I don't really understand it completely,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it's forming. I feel like it's around my writing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of one of my big hopes for this 3-day event, that
Right.
it will become clearer.
It will. That's one of the things we do in the event is you become clear about what your sacred calling is. That's part of what we do in those 3 days. And do you have any expectations? I know you just said one, that you have a hope that, you know, the sacred calling, sacred ambition is going to get clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you just feel like, I wonder, you know, I'd really love for this to also, I'd like to leave the end of the event with this experience. Anything like that?
I like to let go of all the fears, learn how to let go of all the fears that hold me back, not only in the writing, but in life. Because I notice this is all about, you know, making these changes in my life.
Yes.
So I think that's, you know, just to be open and step outside that comfort zone a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, fear is one of the things we look at.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because we have all kinds of fears.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I'd like to say that unless we feel safe, we won't bring sacred callings out into the world. So it's really, really important that we know how to feel safe inside ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am so looking forward to you participating, and I know you know some of our tribe already, and we will welcome you with open arms. You know, it's a really wonderful experience to walk through those event doors first thing on Thursday morning and see familiar faces. You know, you won't be a stranger. You already will know people in the room. So it's just, you know, it's like a big homecoming. So I want to thank you, Jane, for sharing, because like I said, you haven't even attended this event.
No. No.
Here you are, you know, just saying, well, this is what's going on for me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get to know you more. I've happily gotten to know you through a few events already this year, Jane. And, you know, one of the things that happened for me last year at the Sacred Ambition event that I attended is that I got to meet dozens of people that I only knew online. So I had a relationship with, and then they showed up in person, and what a joy that was. And so anyway, so for those of you who don't have any plans to move to New Mexico, it might happen.
I want to say you don't have to move to New Mexico.
But it is a great time to be able to meet people that we know in our circles, in our various circles online. So looking forward.
And Selena, if I could just piggyback that comment, because I was thinking before the call today about live events and why live events are so important to attend. especially one that really calls to you, especially one that's just speaking your language. You know, live events are so superior to doing anything online, even though this technology that we're sitting in right now is amazing, that all of us can be in different places, live in different, places, and all be together. And everyone that's going to watch this, it is amazing. But being in person and sitting in energy that is actually being set and generated and augmented by everyone in that room, hearts and souls, there's nothing like it. And so I just want to say, I know live events are, they're big deals. We have to set that time out of our life, don't we? And we have to put things aside, and we have to get dog sitters and cat sitters and children sitters, and we have to unplug from our businesses. We have to maybe take time off. If we fly in from out of town, we have to take all those arrangements. There is an effort. There's a huge effort that goes into a live event, but it's worth it. It is so worth it to be in energy, and also meet people that you will probably be in touch with for many, many years to come. So I just had to say that little thing about live events before we keep going.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a life changer for me last year. I was on my way to New Mexico, but at that time I was still living in Oregon, and it was really great to take the time and to make the arrangements to come. Yeah. So next we get to meet another of my special friends, Mary Wakefield. Mary is transitioning from a 34-year career in the hospitality business to now running her own business, Marry Me, LGBT Weddings of New Mexico. She received the sacred calling to plan weddings for her community 18 months ago. After attending the YSA live event, she had the courage to make this her sacred ambition business. Her calling was not only to serve the LGBT community, but also her beloved state of New Mexico by helping the state become a destination wedding state for the LGBT community. Her love of all details, both small and large, has her aligned perfectly to assist couples navigate as they celebrate their marriage. She calls herself the joyful, lighthearted navigator. Welcome, Mary.
Let's unmute Mary.
Yep,
there we go.
We are. I'm unmuted. Hello, thank you. Thank you, Selena, very much.
Welcome, Mary. It's so good to see you. Mary and I see a lot of each other.
We do.
Yeah. But she happens to be in the mentorship that is one of the programs that you can join after this event. But I want to back up, Mary. I want to roll the time back to what you were experiencing this time last year. Before you came to this event, I know you heard about it from a practitioner that you had gone to, and you were in kind of what we call a life 2x4. So would you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, I was in a life 2x4. I've had many of them. I was very unaware of them until this one. I've had a very successful career in travel and hospitality, and I'm just at the end of what many people would consider a dream job. I was traveling all over the world, working for Fortune 500 companies, planning travel logistics and events. I've been to 90 countries. I've met some incredible people all over the world. And in a year and a half, I had 2 rounds of cancer, came out of nowhere, and it was a life changer for sure. And now that I'm beyond that, I'm cancer-free, and I'm not only surviving, but I'm thriving. I call myself a thriver. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because it woke me up. I had been doing this job for many, many years and successfully, but now I know I never was fully engaged at a deep level where I was following a sacred calling. So I met a practitioner who's become a good friend, and I told her I needed something else in my life after the life-changing event. And she goes, "You need the wisdom school." And I went, "I don't care what it is, I'm going." Just because I love the name. and she called the Sacred Ambition live event the Wisdom School. And so I signed up without knowing, went to the event. I'd had the calling to be a wedding planner for my community, the LGBT community, and I ignored it. I thought, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I should be doing. But it wouldn't go away. It just kept coming back. And then after I got the name of my business, Marry Me, M-A-R-Y Me, I knew I had something. That was the door that flew wide open. And then I kept following the path and following the path. And I would literally try to turn away from it, but it wouldn't let me. And then going to the Alive event last August was the life changer. I just said, okay, I'm listening and I'm following my spiritual calling, and I'm going to go for it. I have no idea how this is going to look. I have no idea how I'm going to transition out of my successful career and make money. That was a big fear. But something so much deeper inside of me kept saying, it's going to be okay. You have to do this. You have to do this. And I'm doing it.
Yes, you are.
I'm doing it. So it's truly life-changing. It really is.
I love it. There's your hell yes. You know, I just feel the energy kind of radiating off of you, you know, kind of like, hell yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's often the experience after your Sacred Ambition event is, yes, I am going to do this. People, you know, come up to me and say, or come up to each other, because you get to share with one another and say, you know, this is what I'm going to do. I'm declaring it. And then it all unfolds. Well, you didn't stop at the end of your Sacred Ambition live event, did you? No. You decided to sign up for the mentorship. So what drew you to the mentorship? Why did you decide to, jump into a year-long program for yourself?
Well, great question. I just knew in the live event this is what I was going to do. And I knew for myself, if I left that sacred 3-day space without going forward, I would probably not continue. Mm-hmm. Because that was a pattern for me. I have great ideas. I start them, but fear or just practicality, something always stops me from moving forward. And I knew this was my time, having had the health issues, which I came through with flying colors. I knew there was so much more for me. So I took the information. I went quietly away on the evening before the last day, and I just sat with it and I asked for guidance, spiritual guidance. Mm-hmm. I said, how can I fit this into my schedule that was already planned for the next 9 months? How can I financially afford to do this? And it was as if that was all, those were just things that would work out. Mm-hmm. And so it was like my pen was filling out the application, literally. That wasn't me. And Mary kept saying, you sure? Are you sure? And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And so I did. I filled in the application. I wrote everything out. And I cannot tell you how it's incredibly moving for me to be on this journey that is changing my life. It is, it's difficult to describe because it's so very, very personal. But what I've learned about myself is priceless. The way my business is unfolding is unbelievably incredible. The support system I get from the tribe, our tribe, please come and join our tribe. It's fun. It's so much fun. Mm-hmm. The support system is incredible. I had a wonderful talk with Bobby yesterday about helping me to be creative with my words. You know, I'm very practical. I'm a planner. But the creative side of me with language is coming through. So there's so much I have learned. The tools I have gained. One of the biggest things is self-trust. which is the foundation for me that's led to confidence and all kinds of things. So I could just go on and on and on, but we don't have enough time for me to go on and on and on.
Well, but I'm sure everyone listening and watching this recording is going to get your enthusiasm. And, what you are addressing is, I just want to say this about Sacred Ambition businesses, which Mary has started, but not everybody in the program is doing a business necessarily. Some people are just wanting to have their self be the focus of bringing forward their sacred ambition. Their sacred ambition is themselves. It's like no other. It's not the same way that you create another business, because everything is inwardly, outwardly directed. And so there's a lot of emphasis in bringing forth a sacred ambition business about learning how to really follow oneself. And what self are you following? And as Mary said, that self-trust. And it's really great to say, oh yeah, I trust myself. And then it's a whole other thing, right, Mary? When you come up to some big choice and decision, which you've had to make this year about closing the back door and going, I'm not giving myself an out, because we so often do that when we're going for the big work. We put a lot on the line here. And I know, because I've done this, when Mary said, she described, filling out that application and your mind is going, what are we doing here? I had the same exact experience when I jumped into with both feet, knowing that I had to go for my sacred calling as well. So, there's challenges. There are real challenges that come up along the way. And yet being in a mentorship where you're supported, where you're led, where you're taught, and where you're celebrated is just really, it's that container, isn't it, Mary? It's just, it's like no other. And I love hearing, here, you're almost at the end of your year here. I can just feel the self-confidence and the strength and the clarity and the deep commitment inside of you to now, just really do this, doing it. You're just doing it. This is fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you have something?
I was just going to ask one more question.
Okay, go for it.
If you were to tell Mary, anyone who's listening out there, knowing where you were this time last year, being in such I know you used the word lost place, being in such a lost place for you. And now here a year later, you are definitely at home. You found home for you. Mm-hmm. What would be one thing you would say to maybe somebody out there who's maybe at a crossroads in their life, or not knowing what's next, and yet something's calling to them? What would you say?
I would say you deserve it. Go for it. Don't hesitate. It's as Rebecca said, it doesn't mean that every fear, every detail that comes up that doesn't go in perfect order or alignment is going to go away. It's not like that at all. It's being able to really connect deeply with yourself on a level that I certainly had never known before. And once you have that, you can do anything. So I was very fearful of what I was doing. And there are many days when I wake up and I go, okay, let's just walk through it today with the tools that I now have. So I would say, come to the live event, connect deeply with yourself, and then allow yourself this opportunity. I really got that life is short. No more so when you have a life-threatening illness. And for a lot of people, thank goodness that isn't the case. But anyway, we have this opportunity, this time, changing time, I believe, in the world where businesses are calling out for conscious people to run them, so we all take care of each other. And this is exactly what's happening to me that never happened before. Yes, I was successful. Yes, I had a successful career. But now I know and feel different from the way that I've ever felt before. So I would just say, give it a try. Trust in yourself and go for it.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. And Selena. And the tribe. It's fantastic.
And there are a lot of them on this call. So hi, tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that day, Mary, that you were at the back of the room filling out the application and asking yourself and asking me, what am I doing? Okay, well, I can walk you through it. Anyway, I'm just so delighted to see you come so far, and I can't wait to hear the success stories of your new business.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to the end of our time, and
Yes, we are.
just wanted to thank the three panelists and turn it back over to Rebecca to wrap it up and tell us more about the event and how to get registered if you're interested.
Yes. And is there anything in the chat that we can just address? And you can, anything? I see there's a bunch of chatting going on. But
yeah, Bobby's been taking great notes. That's kind of her. She's
thank you, Bobby.
Connecting with us. And so, Bobby, if there's anything there that you want to just say, because the chat won't be recorded as part of the recording. So if you wanted to just restate anything, feel free.
Unmuting for a second. So for me, a really big takeaway was the phrase, unless you feel safe inside yourself, you're not going to pursue your sacred calling. And I just wanted to emphasize how safe the container of the Sacred Ambition event is. Rebecca and the team and the community and the tribe just makes the whole thing really, they hold a sacred container, and we do it together. I mean, it's one of those things you can't do by yourself. And so the community is really a key part of that.
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you for taking notes. You're just really wonderful about that. Well, I want to say that this event, again, is August 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday in August. The link to the event is in the chat. However, when you see the recording, you won't see the chat, so it'll be probably in the email you receive, or it'll be in the link that you see on social media. Please go to the page. There's a welcome video from me. There's also a testimonial video of other people that have come to this event and what they had to say at the end of their experience in this event. And depending on when you watch this event, each month the particular investment to come to the event goes up incrementally. So I'm hoping that you watch it soon, because I always start off with a big savings to really invite and not let money get in the way of coming to this event. And so let's see. The doors close, depending on when you're watching this. The doors close July 29th. So between now and then, I just want to say I really hope I see you in August. I know I will see Jane, Bobby, Selena, and Mary. And thank you all again, and hope I see you then. Bye from all of us.